Would it be, y'all? It's Rezin again, back with my second live stream of the year. It's gonna be Halloween special. Gonna reimburse y'all for all the content I was doing for the past couple months. Back to what y'all really know me for: the hip hop shit, the dark shit, and coincidentally, it's Halloween night, and this is my Halloween live stream special for y'all. This is gonna be my personal top 20 darkest songs of all time. Now, let me elaborate on that. These are the top 20 darkest songs according to me and based off what I listen to. So, this isn't like all encompassing, like of all time, of all genres. No, just based on what I listen to. So, there's something that you think is dark that I don't listen to, just keep it to yourself. But anyways, top 20 darkest songs, Halloween special again. But before I get into it, I have to issue this warning. I'm serious. The songs on this list deal with very sensitive topics, including suicide, incest, abortion, child abuse, mass murders, etc. I do not condone or agree with anything these songs say unless I state otherwise. So I don't need any bitching in the comments about what I'm talking about. These are bitches that people have made this song instead. Anyway, y'all have been warned. So if anything listed off, or if anything related to what I said is sensitive to you, click off. Otherwise, top 20 darkest songs. We're about to get into it right now. So number 20. This one is from 1991. Off of one of my favorite early 90s hip-hop albums. And I'm going to go with De La Soul, Millie Pulled a Pistol on Santa. From my favorite De La Soul album, De La Soul is Dead. Yeah, this track is about a girl named Millie, and it's about her sexually abusive father Dill that she plans to kill because of all that shit she's doing to her. She tells Pop News and all the other members of De La about it. She asks one of them for a pistol, but they don't believe her. So Millie still finds a gun anyways. Goes to Macy's where her father's playing a mall Santa, blows his brains out in front of everyone. It's a very dark story, but the way the beat is done, it's not like super intense dark. It's kind of like a depressing dark. Prince Paul's beat really brings in that mood, really bleak, and I love the drum sample he uses. But yeah, very dark story. What's fucked up is that this kind of shit happens every day, and people still get invalidated when they speak up, which is that's bullshit. Nevertheless, I think this is one of the best hip hop storytelling songs of all time. And I know they really address some serious shit here. And by the way, for those that don't know, Atmosphere did a sequel to this song called Millie Fell Off the Fire Escape. I think I once found a video on YouTube where it's like both of the songs, one after the other. If I find that, I'll have that in the description. So that's my number 10, or not 10, 20. De La Soul, Millie Pulled a Pistol on Santa from 1991 on the De La Soul is Dead album. All right, next up at number 19, deals with somewhat similar subject. This is going to go to 1996 off of one of my favorite albums of all time by one of my top 5 bands of all time. I'm going with Korn, Kill You, the sign-off track to their second album, Life is Peachy. That's my second favorite album of theirs. My favorite's the self-titled debut. Another thing, Ross Robinson produced closers are going to be a running theme on this list. We're going to run into those a few more times. But this is Jonathan Davis spilling his guts about his abusive stepmother, the most evil fucked up person in the world through his eyes. And that second verse is unreal, man. When he starts like switching up to like that rap flow and Hit a Monkey are like going back and forth with this crazy guitar just sounds and shit. It's so fucking creepy. And yeah, that rap verse Jonathan does is fucking crazy. So yeah, the chorus pretty catchy too. John's no stranger to spilling dirt about his life, and This is just one of his most personal tracks. Never try to play my. And I like how he ends the song where he's just repeating how could I cry out for someone I never loved. So yeah, this is definitely one of the best songs on Life is Peachy, one of my favorite Korn songs of all time. And if you watch the Who Then Now documentary, there's real footage of Jonathan recording this song, and after it cuts to head and he says, "My favorite singer in the world is in my band." So that's number 19, Korn Kill You from 1996 on Life is Peachy. All right. Next up at number 18, we're going to, personally, in my opinion, the darkest year in music history, 1994, on one of one of the most groundbreaking albums in this specific rap genre. We're gonna get into that wicked shit for the first time on this list, and we're gonna run into it a lot more often. And I'm talking about Gravediggers, Diary of a Madman. It was my introduction to Gravediggers and my favorite song from them. It's from their classic, groundbreaking album, 6 Feet Deep, and it's basically the four members trying to plead insanity on a murder trial, and they spit some real wicked shit. This also features Shabazz the Disciple and Killer Priest from Sons of Man, and Shabazz starts it off and he steals it fucking immediately, like so dark. You know, where he says like, "Grew up in hell. I dwell in now I dwell in an Islamic temple. I'm fighting a holy war in the mental. Look deep in my eyes. You see visions of death. Possessed by homicide is what I am obsessed." Dude, I wish Shabazz stayed in Sons of Man. Like, if he was on like the last Shabby first album, forget it. But yeah, he really brings that dark shit, and he's really good at it. But after that, comes in the Resurrector, and he goes in, tells a story about watching his father getting killed back in '84 and being taken, held hostage in a tabernacle. No, he says, I saw the torture, brutal murder of my father, so my brain became stained with the horror. I'm having reoccurring nightmares of being soaking wet, strapped down to the electric chair. Oh my god. When I first heard that, I fucking lost it. I still lose it when I hear that line too. That is one of my favorite fucking RZA verses. You know, this is my favorite RZA. When he had the lazy eye, messy afro, just smoking PCP and just making crazy fucked up beats on the ASR 10. Yeah. I wish he would go back to that. I think there's a chance because he did a track for West Side Gun's new album and it kind of sounds like 97, but that's beside the point. And RZA did produce this song as well. I actually didn't know that for a long time. And yeah, he's my favorite producer of all time. Killer Priest comes in on the third verse, makes his public debut, kills it. Fru Quan brings it home right after that. And then the judge just shoots him all in the head and just calls him guilty. And then that's a song. But I fucking love this song. It's the darkest one on the album. Between that and 1-800-Suicide, I was about to have that on this list, but I decided to switch to this just to make it a more original. But imagine if Grim Reaper had a verse on this. Like, they might have fucking one of the insanity plea if he had a verse. That his fucking personality is insane. But he talks like some shit in between the verses, so he is still on the song. And yeah, Diary of a Madman, hip hop classic, one of my favorite songs of all time. Just not in hip hop or in rap music, just generally speaking. So that is number 18, Gravediggers, Diary of a Madman, from 6 Feet Deep in 1994. Next up, we're going to 17. And ironically enough, 17, this one's coming from Psychopathic Records from 2001, from the original Red Dark Lotus, Tales from the Lotus Pod, Headache. My favorite Dark Lotus song, and my personal interpretation of it, it's about like being possessed and using pills to try and get it out. First, the cat growled up a very nightmarish beat. I love the choir sample of the chorus. It's so dark. And Tales from the Lotus Pod fucking bumps if you have a good system. Twisted Spark, the song's fused at the start and Kill It. A little Monoxide's Run DMC reference in the chorus, I'll cut the head off the devil and I'll throw it at you. Jay and Blaze, second verse, they trade off about like taking Zoloft and no-dos. They're too paranoid to fall asleep. Like when Jay says, the demon follows me right into the house of God, but then it swallows me and takes me to the lotus pod. I love that. And Shaggy 2 Dope, he has a dope verse, but my favorite verse is coming from Mars at the end. He just goes completely blasphemous, where he says, I got visions of nuns being raped with the barrels of guns, a young lamb crucified for the fuck of it. Run! Mars, he's the MVP of Tales from Lotus Pod. I think everyone is on board with that. If he would have stayed with that label and dropped his own album in like 2001, 2002, it would have been wicked shit overload. So that's number 17, Dark Lotus, Headache, from the Red 2001 Tales from the Lotus Pod album. And I'm happy to have that in my collection. And that version needs to be put on fucking streaming. So next up, we're going to stay, for number 16, we're going to stay in that Psychopathic Records dimension with this next one. And I'm going with it's one of those artists' pre-Psychopathic tracks, but it appeared on a Psychopathic actual release. Twisted / Mr. Bones, aka Jimmy Madrox, Why the Children. Underrated fucking song in the catalog. This originally appeared on Jimmy Madrox's Mr. Bones Sacrifice album from 1995, but most people have probably heard it on Cryptic Collection 2, which is where I first heard it, and that's where I listen to it the most when I do listen to it. Anyway, the story of this song is like very fucking morbid. It's about Jimmy Madrox killing his little brother Joey and going back to his gravesite at night to dig him up and bring him back to life. And at the cemetery, he like sees the ghost of a little dead girl, and like right as he's saying this, he's like, she turned around and her eyes were a deep red, blood stains matted her hair to her fucking head. Seeing the sight almost began to choke. That's when we shovel in, the girl turned into smoke. Very just fucked up and very visual. Once Madrox does find his brother's grave, shit gets real graphic real quick. He digs up his body and carries him back to his house, and he's like bugs and insects keep falling out of his mouth, and the ending to the story is fucking terrifying. He's like, standing over his body with my knife, please God give Joey back his fucking life. I slit his throat, maybe that'll help him breathe. Cut off his eyelids, maybe now he'll see. Fuck. Oh, it's so fucking evil and morbid. The beat is so dope too. That gunshot sample is so fucking grimy and dirty. And just in general, I think the Cryptic Collection series is, as far as Psychopathic's catalog, so fucking underrated and so slept on. If you haven't heard Cryptic Collection 2 in a long time, dig that album out and listen to Why the Children, because this is some A-class wicked shit right here. From 1995. Twisted / Mr. Bones, Jamie Madrox, Why the Children, number 16. And next up, we're going to go to number 15. Number 15. So in 1992, from one of my favorite albums of all time. Number 15, Alice in Chains, Dirt. My favorite AIC song of all time from my the title track from my favorite AIC album. I'm sure is most people's. It starts off with like this very fucking nasty riff that I fucking love. It's the way I could like describe it. It's basically like the grunge version of like the Black Sabbath Electric Funeral riff, and it was like the AIC are very influenced by Sabbath. Like listen to Dirt, it's very obvious, but Lane Staley's harmonizing with that riff in the start always gets me amped, but then he goes on to like just verbally fucking eviscerate himself out in this song. This opening verse, right? He says, it hits me so fucking hard. It's not even funny. This is like some shit I would fucking tack on my wall. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. He said, "I have never felt such frustration or lack of self-control. I want you to kill me and dig me under. I want to live no more. One who doesn't care is one who shouldn't be. I tried to hide myself from what is wrong for me." And he's saying that right now as I speak. Yeah. basically like the past 2 years of my life have been that verse in a nutshell. I don't like dragging my personal life into this on my channel, so I'll just leave it like that. But basically just everything Lane says in this song, I feel right down to my core. Jay Karen Charles, like I said, channels his inner Tony Iommi on the fretwork. And Dirt just as an album overall really helps me get through life. Another song I think of is like Down in the Hole. I love that song. And also spoiler alert, this guy's also going to be on the list later, but one of my favorite rappers of all time, 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡, he sampled this in his song Symptoms of Insanity, as well as Rain When I Die. So to him, we'll get to his to music when we get there. But number 15, Alice in Chains, Dirt, title track from their classic 92 album. Happy 30 years for that shit. That box set they did this year for that album is fucking insane and expensive. All right. Next up is number 14. Now, subject matter wise, I think this is going to be one of the more sensitive and like fucking intense topics on the list. This is going to go to 2004 on an album from Psychological Records, What's Wrong with Bill, Ill Bill, The Anatomy of a School Shooting. Like I said, I don't condone any of this shit that I'm talking about on any of these songs, but this is basically like basically a hip hop like autobiography of the Columbine massacre. Ill Bill is rapping like from the perspective of Eric Harris specifically, and for a topic this fucking real and this fucking dark, it's got quite a happy beat to it. Like Necro's beat, it's got like this really like upbeat horn samples. If the beat was darker, this probably would be higher on the list, but that's not a complaint. I'm just saying that. But Bill said something like, "Suicide's played out. If you're gonna die, take people with you." Like I said, Bill really puts himself into the mind of the Columbine killers, and just rapping from their minds. This track is very detailed when it comes to these crazy motherfuckers' stories. Like when he says, "Don't ever even try to analyze me now. You had your chance back then. Maybe you could have been my friend." He's talking about like he used to get harassed, kicked down on the ground. He even saw teachers laughing at him. So yeah, death to every bitch, pussy, bully ever. I'm not defending the kid for what he did. I don't want to say that. Fuck no. But yeah. Here's how you can save that shit from happening. Jump the fucking bully and beat his ass with your fists. So there you go. Worst case scenario is being suspended. But anyway, the chorus goes on the song goes so fucking hard. It's like this. What's more fun than slice wrist, kill that 50 that you hate and spray 25 kids? Again, I don't condone his saying, but just the way he delivered that and the Ill Bill's voice and how in what he says it is so fucking dope. I just love Ill Bill's voice. But yeah, this is hip hop. No holds barred. There's no topic off subject or no subject off limits. Basically, moral of the story is let the music do the killing for you. So that's 14. Ill Bill, The Anatomy of a School Shooting from What's Wrong with Bill. And next up, we're going up to number 13. Lucky number 13. Off of this isn't on actual official studio album from this artist. It's on a compilation album. But this is the introduction song to one of my favorite fucking rappers of all time. 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡, Ballad of Worms. Yeah, like I've never talked about 𝙧𝙧𝙖 on my fucking channel before, which is a crime. One of my favorite rappers ever, especially from 92 to 2003, 2002. Yeah. This song was my introduction to him back in 2017. I was blown away by how dark this was. And then later that summer, I listened to Movies for the Blind. Game over from that point on. This is 𝙧𝙧𝙖 Channel's era, the only 𝙧𝙧 that ever existed to me. He is telling like a depressing story about dating a girl who's dying from meningitis, and which he said is a metaphor for his relationship with hip hop at the time he made the song in 2002. You know, her parents paid for the coffin in the left state after signing a contract, do not resuscitate. And also, in other words, at that time, 𝙧𝙧𝙖 thought hip hop was dying. And Alex, he has a very dope rhyme in the third verse. So this was really good. She's cold as a corpse, hands still holding the source up in the air like one day the cover is yours. the woman ends up dying, and Ghost sees like her ghost floating away from her body, and like at the end of the song, it's just a very vivid, depressing track. The chorus is dope too. It's like, I can't get that sound you make out of my head. I can't even figure. Yeah, I fucking love that chorus. And the entire beat is built off of just one sample, just different parts of it. And the song that sampled itself on its own is also dope. But my introduction to Cage, my favorite Cage song, the beat fits the story perfectly. I just love how vivid his storytelling is. And just like how he's describing the chick decomposing and losing her motor skills, just so dark. And one of the most slept on MCs of all time, one of my favorite storytelling songs of all time. So salute to Chris Palco, Cage, Battle of the Worms, 2002. I wouldn't mind that being on Movies for the Blind either. All right, now number 12. Now we're getting into like the intense shit, the suspenseful dark shit, and we're gonna go back to Psychopathic Records a year later after Battle of Worms, 2003. My opinion, possibly the best year in Psychopathic Records history, off of my favorite album from that year, from the Green Book, Twisted Hamsha Bomb. This song is so fucking chilling. It's definitely my favorite off Green Book. That album turns 20 next year. It's fucking insane. I'm definitely gonna review it. That in 2023. But Jay Madrox Monoxide, they're telling stories about picking up a possessed chick, trying to drive him to the hospital and get away from demons that are possessing her, and like how they're following after them. And Madrox set the stage in the beginning. Your whole life's about to change in the next 20 seconds as you glance as a lady running at your car, half naked, bleeding from her neck to her chest, and 4 guys chasing her with axes, and they look fucking possessed. And you're gonna be fine. I correct the whole thing. I fucking love this song. And yeah, just the way Madrox describing whatever, like how the ride is going along, and just all the crazy like outbursts the chick is having. Like first the guy with the axes, now this bitch wants to kill me, which like bites his hand. But yeah, just love how he starts it off. And then Monoxide finds himself in the same situation. Now they're on the side of us. I could either run us both off of the road or crash into a school bus. I look out and see one of my front wheels go bouncing off a tree, and now it's headed for my windshield. Pieces of glass are in my throat, and there's bitches in the front seat laughing like it's a joke. It's so fucking dark. Like the sound effect Fritz uses when that line, it's the way Monoxide says it. You can feel the fucking glass ripping through his neck. It's so fucking dark. And in his verse, the demons grab both him and the chick out of the car. Monoxide gets thrown across the street, and the possessed bitch gets pretty much disemboweled. So my favorite part of the song though is the third verse, which goes back to Madrox. This is when it just gets really dark and suspenseful. I can't see too much blood inside of my eyes, but I can kind of make out to the west. To my surprise, I'm in the clear. No one surrounds me, but across the street it sounds just like the Exorcist movie, screaming, crying, paw cars flying around, smashing into the ground is devastating. That flow is killer, and like when like the drums go backmasked, and like how Madrox flows over the beat like that, I just love it. And the beat switch in the third verse is so fucking creepy. Just like that little scraping kind of sound that he uses. Crystal Cat's production on this song is so fucking dark. It's intense. It's cinematic. Shout to Crystal Cat, Fritz Vankowski, underrated producer. I think he needs to get a lot more credit when it comes to building Twisted as artists. So that chorus is so damn good too. This body doesn't belong to you. I know this body never belonged to you. And being on, Twisted being on Psychopathic in the midst of storytelling aficionados like experts like ICP, you better have some good storytelling talent. Twisted more than proved it here. And the inspiration. Oh, let me tell you something else. I don't know how many people know about this. The inspiration behind this song is based off an actual true fucking story. Back in '84, this Rhode Island chick like killed her husband and blamed it on a demon possessing her, and the demon's name was Hamsha Bomb. Fucking insane. If you have the OG Green Book, flip through the credits, like where they break down different songs, it's in there. That's where I found out. But everything in this song is perfect. The song structure, the pacing, and the evolution of the story itself, the progression of the beat, etc. Only downside to it's not even the song itself, it was the video. They did that in 2016 when they repressed it on M&E. They did like an animated video for it, but it was like it looked like it was done for like fucking $100. You know, it's just this guy who did like these animation skits like for the Abomination skits. You know, but if they had like a film music video in '03 with a big budget, it could have been the best psychopathic music video. That's how good this song is. So number 12, Twisted Ham Shabam. And as the song fades out, that's gonna bring us into number 11. All right, here we go. Another sensitive topic coming up. This is from 1993. I name dropped this artist a little earlier. From his classic third album from 1993, 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡 the Unholy, Kill the Fetus. Title track from his third album, classic. Wish it was on Apple Music. They're pussies for not pulling that up. I have it on iCloud though, so I'm covered. But yeah, I can't really call this like a pro-abortion track because 𝙧𝙚 says some really fucked up shit. We'll get to that in a minute. But the song is basically just naming off multiple reasons to get abortion, from how some women just can't afford to be parents, fathers abandoning mothers, birth being a life-threatening risk as it is, which happens a lot, and just how the world's simply too fucked up to bring another person into it. Like I said, this shit is politically incorrect as fuck. You cannot release a song like this, especially with what happened this year. But the beat to this song is very unique. It's got like these boom bappy muffled drums, this crazy guitar sample, like a nice piano sample, and like these horror movie kind of chimes that come in and out of the beat. Got a dope sample from Funkadelic's Maggot Brain in the beginning too, and then later on, 𝙧𝙚's next record after this would be called Maggot Brain Theory. But what did 𝙧𝙚 say on here? It is a lousy world. I live a lousy life. I think I ought to stab you in the stomach with a knife, or push you down the flight of steps until you fall and break your neck. Did a little damage, can you manage a miscarriage? Life is not a choice. Death is the alternative, or should you let it go up in this fucked up world that we live in? yeah. If you've never heard 𝙧𝙚 before, that basically sums it up for you. He suggests some even more ruthless methods, like how he the last line he just said was jam it hanging in your asshole until your water breaks, or offing yourself with a 38 revolver. He says that later in the second verse. But I warned y'all this was going to be about some sensitive topics. But I fucking love this song. I don't condone what he's saying, but this is the wicked shit. This is as brutal as it's gonna get. So yeah, fucking classic song off a classic album. That turns 30 next year. Might review it. I guess when that time comes around, I'll decide then. But number 11, 𝙧𝙚, Kill the Fetus. Next, top 10 now. Top 10. And again, we're going back to Psychopathic Records. This label is just masters of the wicked shit. And going back to 1999. This is this group's most underrated fucking song. It was only released like on 2 releases, and they're very under the radar releases as it is. And it's just, oh my god, I'll just spill it out. Insane Clown Posse featuring Ice-T, Dead End. This song's about being executed on death row. It doesn't get much darker than that. b.i.g is facing the electric chair. Shaggy 2 Dope is facing a hanging, and Ice-T is facing firing squad. This song is just so intensely dark and scary, and nothing scarier than reality. Like, that's as wicked shit as you're gonna get with music. But Jay has my favorite verse. It sounds like he's scaring the shit out of himself, just waiting on getting an electric chair. Like, motherfucker in a row gonna sends me to die in a metal chair. Feel my nut hair, bad enough I'll be dead. but I'm still trying to figure out how to keep away the eyes from popping out my head. And Jay has said a few different times like he is very much against the death penalty. So this line he says like goes really fucking hard. I know the devil's waiting on me, but does God like you playing his role in killing me though? And then he gets electrocuted by electric chair, and the sample that they use for the electric chair going off is so good. It sounds real. I'll play it for y'all. Let me rewind it. So fucking good. It just sounds real. Yeah. Then it goes into that sick ass chorus that and no escape from it. Should have thought about that shit before you done it. Why? I never wanna die. Don't nobody cry for me. It's only murder. And the way they sample Black Sabbath the Wizard into that chorus really just adds like that darkness and like that regretfulness to it, like when you listen to the lyrics. But Shaggy's verse is fucking amazing too. The lights dim in my cell block because all the power they got surged into one spot. Jay's chair, hear him screaming, fully loaded. It was funny at first till his head exploded. So fucking evil. Shag just sounds legitly fucking deranged in this verse. Like he talks about I want someone to strangle here, and he just keeps fake waking up on the floor because he's strangling himself. And I love how he ends up the song with you know, I don't feel so high. Let's go for it next week. Didn't work. I pulled down my collar. At least you won't be healing me, holla. My neck's shut. And the way he says my neck's shut, it sounds like he's fucking choking. And let me get to it. You won't be hearing me, holla. My neck's shut. So, like, oh my god, he killed that. And again, very realistic sample with that floorboard dropping. But then in comes Ice-T, and he kills his verse. He just fears nothing at all once he's up. Basically just rapping about the crimes he committed that landed on death row. Like, bittersweet, baby. I've been waiting for this. Go straight to hell, kick it with the rest of my clique. Fuck a blindfold. I want to look him deep in the ass so they can see that full face of a dog as he dies. Plus, I want to see the motherfucker squeeze. Got a hot date with my soulmate. Bust. I can't wait. Hard as a motherfucker. He gets dealt with and gets shot up again. Sounds very realistic. And yeah, this song is a fucking masterpiece. It's a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. It's definitely their most slept on song in my opinion. Mikey Clark's production on this track is so fucking evil and intense. It doesn't really sound like an ICP, but it sounds more like kind of like Natural Born Killers, like that beat, but more straightforward, like more kind of boom bapish, I think. Yeah, Leg Simon's interludes, like reporting on the executions in between the verses, those are really done well. This appeared first on Psychopathics from Outer Space Volume 1. Later on featuring Freshness in 2011, which is where I first heard it. And this was originally supposed to be on The Amazing Jekyll Brothers, but it was cut because Vontae said they didn't want too many features on the Joker's card. Bullshit. There are only 3 features, like, ODB, Snoop Dogg, and Twisted. 4th one wouldn't have hurt. So there's like 17 tracks on the album. But here's some trivia when it comes to this song. The Wizard being sampled and Vontae being executed by electric chair both happened in a previous ICP song. Never had it made from Carnival of Carnage. So that is number 10, ICP and Insane Clown Posse, featuring Ice-T, Dead End, from Psychopathics from Outer Space Volume 1 in 2000. All right, next up are number 9. Okay. I hear some... Okay, when it comes to this band's darkest song, a lot of different, like, suggestions get brought up, but I never hear this one brought up because it's a deep cut, but it's far and away their most evil, disturbing song they've fucking created. And I'm talking about my number 1 favorite band of all time. Yeah, I had to have them on this list. Nirvana, Paper Cuts. Far and away their darkest fucking song. It ain't even close. And here's why. This song is a true real life story of these two kids, like very inhumane childhood. The story is that they were born into a family that tortured their fucking children, locked them up into a pitch black basement with like black painted windows, with nothing but newspapers for a waste mat, trapped in darkness for trapped in complete darkness for years. Kind of like that fucking the story of the Turpin kids if you read up on that. But this song puts that evil wickedness in your head. The riffs are just so dark, dissonant. Lots of like feedback in between bars. Cobain portrays the story perfectly from what he's saying and like in the haunting delivery he sings it out with. Like the first verse, at my feeding time, she'd push food through the door. I crawled towards the cracks of light. Sometimes I can't find my way. That's how he sets the song off. And then the second verse, black windows I paint, I scratch with my nails. I see others just like me. Why do they not try escape? Dark as a motherfucker. Yeah, I know. I hear people bring up different suggestions for what their darkest song is. You know, something in the way. Fuck out of here, Polly. No, art like okay, that Polly, good argument, but the beat is really happy. This nothing happy about this. This is all the way dark, from the beat or the riffs to the lyrics. Yeah, it's in my top 5 like Nirvana songs, and it's their most slept on track. When people say "Some of the Weight" is their darkest song, I laugh at that cute shit because this will fucking terrify people who say that. You know, whenever I play this, it always gets put on repeat. It's Kurt Cobain's best songwriting, in my opinion, and I kind of wish I had a video because just like Cobain's fucked up imagination. Imagine what a video for this would have been like. But and I wish they played it more. I wish they played the song like more often with Dave Grohl. There's only like one, like there's only one like video you can find on YouTube with him playing with them, and it was like when he first joined the band. But number 9, Nirvana, Paper Cuts from their debut 1999 album Bleach. So that's number 9. Next up at number 8, again very sensitive topic, and again it's from 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡, the Unholy. From his album before Kill the Fetus, the true first double hip hop album, Judgment Day, off of was released separately, Volume 1 Day, Volume 2 Night. This is on Volume 2 Night. To me, this is the darkest shit 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡's ever wrote in his solo catalog. Living in Incest. It's the darkest shit in his catalog, and that's a big statement. Like, when he pulled a pistol on Santa was about this same shit, but that was like a lot more compassionate, quote unquote. 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡's approach to this track is just mad more harsh. Telling a story about father molesting his daughter every night, and he even mentions how his son even gets the same shit. Matter of fact, I think her brother Michael is her son. I think Michael got fucked in his ass when he was younger. I mean, that's just even more sickening. You know, 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡 actually breaks the daughter out of the house and then gets her away from her father, like into the third verse. And what was one of the lines in here? One big orgy with the family, so you're all going to hell because you're living in incest. Yeah, there's very little things in this world darker than what this song's about, and there's no subject 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡's afraid to touch. I mean, go back to number 11, like it's right there. 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡 really just taps into how disgusting this issue is. You know, the darker the better the music for me, like I said. But even this song, I like only listen to it like occasionally, and yeah, I think after the first verse, it might just be my ears hearing this, but I think after the first verse, when it goes to that instrumental, I think it's a sample from Led Zeppelin Black Dog. Could be wrong about that. It has like a drum feel into it. I could be wrong about that, but it sounds like it to me. And then yes, I have listened to that album before, so let me know. But next up, after 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡 Living in Incest in number 8, we're going back to the darkest year in music history again, 1994, off of one of the most iconic albums of all time, not just in hip hop, just in general. The notorious b.i.g. Ready to Die. The sign off closing track to the album, Suicidal Thoughts. I mean, I've dealt with shit like this, like on and off passively, like years. And but the thing is, I know they're just thoughts. But depression doesn't let everyone see that, which fuck sucks. And this is what Biggie is like. And this is easily my favorite Biggie song. He's like calling Puffy in the middle of the night and just says his goodbyes. And the way he sets it off just sets the tone. When I die, fuck it, I want to go to hell. Because I'm a piece of shit, it ain't hard to fucking tell. It don't make sense going to heaven with the goody goodies dressed in white. I like black Timbs and black hoodies. God will probably have me on some real strict shit. No sleeping all day, no getting my dick lit. Hitting with goody goodies, lounging in paradise. Fuck that shit. I want to tote guns and shoot dice. Fucking hard. And yeah, kind of some real shit. Like, you're supposed to tell me that heaven is bliss with all those commandments and shit. So yeah, as the song keeps going, his thoughts just keep getting more and more dark and intense. And my favorite one is when he's like, should I die on the train track like Rainbow and Beat Street? People at the funeral fronting like they miss me. My baby mama kissed me, but I'm glad I'm gone. She told me and her sister had something going on. Definitely been in that headspace before. At the song at the end, you hear a gunshot, he blows his head off. And when you hear that thud, that's actually like Biggie actually really felt in the booth to get that sound. So that was crazy. But I love how the song ends with just that heartbeat just getting slower and slower, and like that voicemail saying like, "Please hang up and try your call again," and that just loops until it fades out. Creepy as fuck. And Lord Finesse produced this beat. It matches the lyrics perfectly. It's dark. It's just atmospheric, suspenseful, and like those bells are just suffocating. And I love how dusty the drums are. And like if you listen closely, like when you listen to the drums themselves, if you like clip out the start of each bar, I've always loved that because it just makes the track even more unsettling. But yeah, I don't condone the shit this is talking about. They're 988. Do you know about them? They're always open. They respond fast, and they're free and shit. So yeah, and that's gonna bring us right up to number 6. That's loading up right as I speak. I could not have the top 20 dark song list without this band on here. I just couldn't. Number 6 from one of my favorite bands of all time, one of my favorite albums of all time, 2001. Slipknot, Iowa. The sign-out track to their, and this title track, the second album. And yeah, like I said, no dark song list is available without this band. But don't matter if it's just metal or just all genres. You gotta have Slipknot on there, man. They made mainstream metal scary again. Like when the new metal explosion was happening, they made the mainstream metal shit scary again. And yeah, like I said, it's a shutting down track on their second album, Iowa. It feels good to finally have the OG press that album with the fucking silver foil cover, not that fucking red shit that looks like someone barfed on the original. Happy to have the original. And longest track they ever made too, 15 minutes and 3 seconds. This shit is just arguably the darkest song. It's about fucking playing with dead things. Necrophilia, no way to sugarcoat it. It's about fucking dead corpses. And in a Q&A, someone asked him about the recording of this album, and he said, "This is pretty funny." He said the music was so creepy it made him want to punch nuns and babies. So instead of that, he just decided to just go in the recording booth and embark on one of the probably the most fucked up recording process I've ever read about. All right, he stood in an ice bath, stripped naked, started cutting himself with broken glass or a candle. I heard candle, but Corey said broken glass, and Technicolor yawning on himself as he's doing it. That slipped on an 01 for you. Yeah, and he said he did that shit to get out the best vocal performance, especially the screams. And in the song, if you listen to at the 402 mark, you can clearly fucking hear the glass cutting into his flesh. It's brutal. And he only did 2 takes in this song. One for the main vocals, and then another one just to get the double ups. And he said that once he was got done, Clown just told him, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And it takes a lot for the great Clown to say that to you. So yeah, but the shit's fucking brutal. Paul Gray gets a show off in this song with that really dark, suspenseful bass line. R.I.P. to number 2 and the number 1. I think Joey Jordison might be my new favorite drummer of all time. But it's between him and Danny Carey from Tool. And the sample of the kids screaming, like, when the song starts up, that just adds like the creepiness rate. And the song just slowly builds up and intensifies. And then exactly at like 3 minutes in, it drops like a fucking bomb. That drop in is so hard. And that riff, basically it's like what Falling into Hell is, I could imagine is like. And Corey's a disturbed motherfucker on this song, as I am, so she sounds legit deranged. And it's like around like 6 minute mark, the song goes back into that intro build up, and Corey's just basically just sitting there, just feeling the effects of like the broken glass in his flesh and shit, and basically just feeling the pain with his words. He keeps repeating like, "It cuts us, it cuts us," just really putting himself into the song. And like there's like some back masking like throughout it, like just saying like, "Don't look at me," and with that final verse is so fucking dark and disturbing. Just not just the lyrics itself, but the way he's screaming them out. "You are mine. You will always be mine. I can tear you apart. I can recombine you. All I want is to covet you all. You belong to me. I will kill you to love you." I mean, tells you all you need to know about the song, really. Corey's talking to the end is so fucking crazy, just like saying, "I can smell you on me." And I love this song. Slipknot did a good job at making 15 minutes go by like 10, 11 minutes. It's heavy, suspenseful, intense, unnerving, masterpiece. And number 6, Slipknot, Iowa. The title track, the shutdown track from their classic 2001 album. All right, top 5 now. And we're going to really travel back in time with this one. And this is like the oldest known track on this list, way back to 1986 AD. Again, you can't have a darker song list that with all genres or just metal in general without this band. And again, sensitive topic for people, so sorry. I'm not the one who wrote this. I'm just talking about it. But it's from the one of the big 4 thrash. My favorite of the big 4. Slayer from the Rain and Blood album, Angel of Death. The sign-in track to the album is my favorite Slayer song. It used to be Rain and Blood for like first starting out with, but I don't know. Angel of Death, like the fast-paced intensity and just how suffocatingly dark the lyrics are. Yeah, it surpassed it. But one word, Holocaust. That's what the song's about. There is no event in human history darker than that fucking shit. Nothing at all. I don't care what you say. And there's nothing I hate more with a brain passion than a bitch ass Nazi. Fuck fuck that shit. And by the way, they are not condoning that. They do not condone this shit in the song. They have clearly came out and said that they're against it. And but the thing is, the songwriter for the album, Jeff Henneman, his father fought in World War II, and whenever he would kill a Nazi, he'd pull the medals and badges off their war gear, basically stripping them of their bigoted ideologies. So when he sees all that shit, that's gonna start getting into his head, and that's how the song came out. But anyway, enough of my fucking tangent. This song is just fucking brutal. And Angel of Death, that was the name of the person on Auschwitz who did like those fucking fucked up human experiments. Jeff and Kerry King's like guitar work in this song is fucking unreal. Super fast, super intense thrash metal. Tom Araya screaming the beat drops is so fucking gnarly. When I first heard this, I thought that was like a guitar, but no, it was actually him. And that's like the only dude I've ever heard hit a note that high. That's fucking crazy. And that beat switch at 138 is so goddamn hard. I love it. Public Enemy also sampled that in She Watched Channel Zero. And the third verse, when Tom describes like the human experiments and like the pain like the fucking victims would feel when it happened. One of the most disturbing fucking things you'll ever hear in your life. Like, listen to this. Pumped with fluid inside your brains, pressure in your skull begins pushing through your eyes, burning flesh drips away. Chest heat burns your skin, your mind starts to boil. Frigid cold cracks your limbs. How long can you last in this frozen water burial? Sewn together, joining heads, just a matter of time till you rip yourselves apart. Like, that's just so fucking descriptive, you can visualize it in your head. And that's a fucking really disturbing thought. This shit is disturbing on another level. Jeff and Carrie's shredding solos towards the end are fucking insane. Dale Barrow's double kicks, fucking up in your face. And from a songwriting perspective, just songwriting on its own, for me, this might be the darkest song of all time, just for the lyrics themselves. But we got 4 more songs left to go that move me even more. Rest in peace to everyone, all the 6 million people that died in the Holocaust. Every Nazi needs to fucking die and burn alive in hell and disappear into oblivion. Seriously, fuck that shit. Anyways, number 5, Slayer, Angel of Death. That might be the most touchy subject I will talk about on this song or on this list. But we're going from something that was very real to something that's fictional but it feels real. Back to the darkest year of music, 1994. My favorite song by one of the most hated groups of all time. I probably love this band. They do have some shit though. I don't give a fuck. But play this for people talking shit on this group, they'll probably be shut the fuck up. Number 4, from the Terror Wheel EP, Insane Clown Posse, Amy's in the Attic. My number 1 favorite ICP song of all time, and it's in my top 10 songs of all time across the board. For like I said, for anyone out there that thinks ICP are just 2 white rappers who in clown paint that spray Fagel or can't rap, listen to this. This shit is a sleep paralysis nightmare for 6 fucking minutes. It's pitch black dark. Violent J tells the story of accidentally killing his childhood friend Amy. One day, they were out sledding. He pushed her off the sled, being playful or whatnot, and she hit her head on it and it killed her. Jay couldn't believe what he fucking did, and he couldn't get caught, so he locks her dead body up in his attic, hoping that he'll just forget about it with time. And then, for 11 long years, Amy's death haunts him to the point where he has no perception of reality at all. He has fucking lost it. He is basically a fucking schizophrenic. And Jay was just so young when it happens. He just starts questioning if he actually did kill her. Like, what if Amy wasn't dead, living in the box, banging on the walls, rattling the locks, feeding off the roaches, rodents, and filth? And when there's nothing left, she feeds off herself. Why do I think of Amy in this way? She was once a lovely girl running out to play. Maybe it's all a dream, insane fanatic. Maybe there's no Amy in the attic after all. Fuck. His sanity just keeps dropping and dropping further as the song progresses. Like, he hears voices yelling, why? Blood dripping from the ceiling. He even fucking sees the ghost of Amy. And he tries blowing his head off with a semi-Glock, just hoping that that would put him to rest. But he just finally snaps and just has to visit the attic. And then you get that chant after each verse. Maybe years that passed me by, I'm thinking, did she really die? I'm thinking, if it's really true, then how come I am telling you? And if I really meant to do it, should I be a victim to it? Should I walk the terror sands, see how follow my terror fears? No. First verse. Second verse. Should I walk the terror stairs and see how follow my terror fears? No. Third verse. Should I walk the terror stairs and see how follow my terror fears? Yes. Amy's in the attic. She is there. 𝙧𝙚𝙖 killed Amy as a child when he pushed her off that sled, and she's been decomposing in his attic for 11 full years. And in the end of the song, all he could do is just fucking scream out, like, how could it be? Dude, this is how you make a fucking story. This is how you make a story that comes up in your head feel real. Like, I believe everybody should hear this song at least once before they die, regardless of what your view is on ICP. And the thing they're known for in the Ricochet is they can do dark shit but have comic relief in it, even from in the slightest manners to the way they pronounce it, or just like throwing in like the little signature slang. None of that is in there. It's all abandoned. No Fagel throwing, no fucking funny slang or nothing. This is just straight up terrifying, and it just sounds like real life trauma. This is the best fucking performance Valanche has ever given in his life, at least in the studio. Mikey Clark's beat is fucking perfect to the story. I love like that the drums and like that horn sample that. And then of course that sample in the chorus that Mr. 𝙧𝙚𝙖𝙡, I think you should come up here. That's from a movie called The Black Hole, which is like a Disney sci-fi movie from '79. So my head, I'm psycho sick. I finally had it. Baby, now I'm coming to the attic. Yeah, man. Amy's in the Attic by ICP. My number 4. I was watching earlier before I went live. I was watching like the Bloody Sunday show they did. I haven't watched the full thing, but I think I made like halfway through the show so far. I hope they play this. They play like they played like some really like why the fuck would you play that shit? Like they played Low on Fierce Played Fury. They played High Rise on Eye of the Storm. No, they just put some weird shit. Anyway, this though, masterpiece. Hip hop classic, dark storytelling masterpiece. And that's it. That's just how it is. Number 3, top 3. We're going back to 1999. Back to one of my favorite bands of all time. Another sign-off track. Slipknot, Scissors. The shutdown track to their self-titled debut, minus Eeyore. Hands fucking down with no second guess at all. This is my number 1 favorite Slipknot song. It's also number 8's number 1 favorite Slipknot song. Corey Taylor's favorite song. I can't argue with say that Iowa's their darkest song, but for my money, this is their darkest. Like Iowa, it starts up with like a really suspenseful build-up. Again, Jim's riff just sounds so evil at the end of that. Oh my god! It just and then Corey just comes in like. No, man, I can't keep going with that build-up. Like when Joey starts coming in with like the kicks and the toms. This is the double kicks, and then the whole beat drops out, and then Corey comes in with one of his most classic verses. I played Doctor for 5 minutes flat before I cut my heart open and let the air out. 3 bugs up, pound up dust, some wind spilled before me. In the strangest manner that it broke away, my tears spout. Then it drops in at 209, and the band just starts going ballistic. I love that chant in the first half, that biding my time until the time is right. Biding my time until the time is right. This shit's so hard and it's so fucking catchy. And like when Corey's like doing those growls like after the verse, he pulls off like this crazy fucking dog bark at 4:46, and it's so psychotic. He does that live when they play the song live as well, so that's crazy. But my favorite part of the song, I'm actually gonna get to fast forward to it right now. My favorite part of this song is it's that second half where that was all improvised, and this is when they just start jamming out. But Mick lays down some of the best guitar fill I've ever heard, starting at like 622. You just start fucking like shredding and shit. Fucking nasty. I just love how dark the sounds. I just love how fucking dark the riffs sound. And then shit gets quickly fucking intense at like 639, which is right now. There we go. Fuck, like a copyright. Oh fuck! That is the single most heavy, intense, brutal, fucking violent moment I've ever heard in like any music, like fucking anywhere, dude. Yeah, Mick and Jim going ballistic, Joey double kicking in like a god, and then like you just heard Corey's just screaming, "I want to die. I'd rather die." And then after that, they flanger just ring it out from Mick's guitar. it sounds like a fucking spaceship. Uh, so it's just so hard to process the fact that this was all fucking improvised. And when that flanger's playing, now you can hear Corey spit out a loogie because he's just going so hard with the screams. And well, another reason why subtitles my favorite Slipknot album is because Corey didn't have like any method to screaming to protect his voice. He was just screaming his lungs out until his fucking throat burned, pretty much. And yeah, my favorite song of all time, as well as Corey Taylor's. It's got me through a lot of dark shit. And for those that have the CD, the hidden track with Chris Fenn's Slipknot Initiation starts at 13:24. If you know, you know. Say that. And then the hidden track Eeyore starts at 16:30. I really miss hidden tracks. Streaming kind of ruined the fun in that, but there are still some artists out there doing it regardless. So I fucking love that. I'm still doing it for sure. Number 3, Slipknot Scissors from self-titled debut album in 1999. Okay. Number 2. These top 2 tracks, they could be flip-flopped, like, depending on the day. Back from 2001. This is not a metal song, though. This is a hip-hop song. To me, this is the darkest hip-hop song ever fucking released. And I'll just let the fucking song itself speak out for it. I'll just start the song and just let it speak for itself. Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil. The darkest hip hop song of all time. I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, oh, underground release. Fuck you. There's a lot of really, really dark mainstream songs. Underground or mainstream don't really make a difference to me what I like over another. Like, you could put this up against any mainstream rap song. It's so. Not only is this the darkest song in hip hop history, I think it's the best storytelling hip hop song of all time. One of my favorite beats of all time too. Like 44 Caliber created a very fitting beat for the story, like y'all just heard. This song evokes a reaction out of everyone it comes across. The story is so vivid, so steadily paced and detailed. It plays out like a movie. It's about this 13-year-old named William who on the streets goes by Billy Jacobs, who tries to join a gang to get respect in the streets, snitches when he gets locked up, and then tries to get his respect back by selling weed, crack, and coke. But it's not enough to impress them. Like, when that first beat switch comes in, Technique says, only a real thug would stab someone till they die, standing in front of them, staring straight into their eyes. I just love how fucking brutal that shit is. And they want to test him by raping a bitch. Friday at 3 a.m. That's in Technique's words. He accepts, and I will not reveal the ending for those that have not heard the song. But if you know, you know. And I'll say, if you had not heard this song, go listen to it right now. Crying out to the sky because he was lonely and scared, but only the devil responded because God wasn't there. That's all you need to know. Devils used to be God's angels that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in a melting pot. Like Technique later says in the later of the song, black, brown, or white color is not restricted. You have a self-inflicted destiny when you have a self-destructive destiny when you're inflictive, and you'll be one of God's children that fell from the top. There's no diversity because we're burning in the melting pot. So when the devil wants to dance with you, you better say never, because a dance with the devil might last you forever. Very thought-provoking story. It's actually become an urban legend if it's a real story or not. I think Technique kind of gave an answer, but I won't say what it is. I'll keep it a mystery. And Technique explained the meaning of the song in a nutshell. Message of the song is that all men need to respect women because for 2 reasons. 1, they are the birth givers of the world, and number 2, They make so many sacrifices trying to be mothers. I 100% agree with that. Powerful message to a fucking powerful song. 6 minutes and 49 seconds, and not one is wasted. So, number 2, Mortal Technique, Dance with the Devil, the number 1 darkest hip hop song of all time, in my opinion. And before I move on to my number 1, I'll give up some honorable mentions. Gravediggers 1-800-Suicide. I almost had that on there, like I said, but I switched it out with Diary of a Madman. Babes in Toyland, Mother. I really wanted to have them on this list. That would have been really good, but there's just some other songs that are just really dark. Actually, I almost would have swapped that out on number 20. But what else? Nas, I Gave You Power. Probably my favorite Nas song. I fucking love that. Nodis, Sunday School from Do You Believe in God? Again, that was I omitted that just to make my list more original. Dollhouse by a group called Half Breed. Wicked shit rap duo. Basically about like possessed kids and shit. It's fucking crazy. But we get one big hit of water. I think my voice is starting to go dry. Okay. I'm just gonna stop the song. Number 1. 1994 again. From one of my favorite bands of all times, and one of my favorite albums of all times. They previously appeared towards the start of the list. From their self-titled debut album, the shutdown track to the record. My number 1 is Korn, Daddy. Yeah, the darkest fucking song of all time. Nothing can change my mind on that. The most disturbing piece of music ever recorded. It's like this is the most vulnerable display of human emotion ever put on a song. Jonathan Davis singing about his experience of being sexually abused as a child. Not by his father, though. People get misled by the title on that. Not by his father. He was molested by his babysitter, who was a family friend, and when he told his parents, they didn't believe him. Hence the bridge, like around like at 3:52 in the song, where is where it goes, I didn't touch you there. Mommy said she didn't care. I didn't touch you there. That's why Mama stopped and stared. The intro starts with Jonathan Davis singing opera a cappella style, apologizing to his mother. It's real hair raising right there. Then Philly starts the song up with a very dark, dingy bass line. It's like the sound like someone licking their fingers in this track, which is just even more like unsettling. And then like that suspenseful riff comes in, and then Jonathan, in the verses, Jonathan sings from the abuser, like the babysitter's point of view, basically. And then the chorus drops in, and then with that even more like unnerving riff, and then Jonathan just starts going off vocally and lyrically. Like everybody knows what he says in the chorus. You raped, I feel dirty. Her as a child, tied down as a good boy, and fucked your own child. I scream, no one hears me. It hurt. I'm not a liar. My God saw you watch, mommy, why your own child. It's basically some of the main part of the song. But with all due respect, that breakdown at 2:43 is hard as fuck. I gotta fast forward to that. I love it. Where is it? 2:43. Fucking love that. Anyway, one of my favorite Korn riffs, and I think it was either Head or Monkey that said that was one of their favorite riffs too. But then it goes to that bridge with just Jonathan like monotonously just repeating the chorus, and then you hear like the sample, you hear like this like screaming out from mommy like in the background of this shit. That's just even more unsettling. It's like he's like having a fucking flashback to it, and when he does that chorus for that final time, he just starts spiraling out of control. And the main song is dark enough as it is, but let me get to it. Yeah, the main song is dark enough as it is, but the second half is where I think this makes this number 1 on my list. Jonathan told the band to keep playing no matter what happened. besides that, Ross Robinson always kept the tape rolling. That's why you hear like that false start intro on Clown. So anyways, the second half of the song, let me bring my thoughts back together. The second half of the song, Jonathan has a real fucking emotional breakdown after he finishes singing the song. He basically just starts crying and cussing out the motherfucker who abused him. And he said that he's rehearsed the song so many times before this recording this, and that never happened until that day. It just got to him, and he just something in his brain just snapped. So good thing Ross will always keep the tape rolling, because it makes the song twice as dark and twice as real. And when like the music drops out like around at 7:37, you can hear someone else crying too. Someone said that was Fieldy, but it sounds more like Head. Just me personally, but who knows? For me, the creepiest part of the song though is like right after that, when Jonathan's sisters comes in and starts singing like that "When I Awake" lullaby. So unfucking creepy, dude. But that's my number one favorite, not favorite, darkest song of all time. Korn, the song "Daddy" from their debut self-titled album. I want to stop fucking around and review that album soon, but I really want to make that one a big one though. But I'm out of thoughts. My mind is fucking scatterbrained. Bonus shouts to Michael and Jerry on that hidden track. Fucking so funny. Michael just goes mental on her, and it's just so funny. But thank you for listening. Hour 71 minutes into this shit, and if you watch and listen to the full list, fucking salute. This was my top 20 darkest songs of all time. Happy fucking Halloween. Stay safe out there. And until then, I'm Rezin 47. I'm signing the fuck out.